Hi, this is Autumn Brown, and last September I participated for the first time in the Counterfeit Kit Challenge, and I had such a great time that I thought I might put together a quick video and show you guys my kit and then some of the things that I made from it, actually all of the things that I made from it, and what was left. So I'm not a professional YouTuber. So if the lighting's not very good and the sound's not very good and I say too many times, please don't diss me. I'm just doing this for some fun. So, and I hope you enjoy it. The kit was put together by Christina with the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and it was travel and boy themed. And here's a couple of pictures of her kit. It, I love those planes. When I saw those, my husband and I travel a ton, and I just thought, oh gosh, I could do some stuff with this. And I've been watching the Kit Club for a long time and thought, well, now might be the time to dive in here with this travel theme that's going on. So I put together my own kit, and this is my kit. It's kind of a big kit, but I looked at the papers and kind of saw some airplanes and the Viewmaster, and I had that Vicky Bouton kaleidoscope paper, so I put that one in there along with some cameras. And I went to the uh, Pixel Scrapper, and which I'm a member of, and found that airplane and made the airplane. And you'll see I made a few other cut files later. Um, I had that Horizon stamp set, and I ended up not using it, but I did use the ones on the far left with the love and family and play. I used those. And I used the stencil. You'll see all this soon. And I threw in some cork and some tags. I had some letters that I'd used a few of, some more cards. Anyway, that was my kit. This is what was left at the end, which is not much. If you'll notice, there's almost no paper left. I ended up making a card front out of just the scrappiest of scraps. There you see it with that navy border. And that's all the paper I had left. Just almost nothing. So I will start showing you my pages. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Let's go here. Um, I, believe it or not, I was the follower showcase. So they used my kit. It was really kind of freaky, but they used my kit as the followers showcase. So that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, we will move on now to the actual pages that I made. So I hope y'all enjoy it. This is not the first time I've done this, um, but I've had a bunch of technical difficulties, so hopefully this time it'll work. So this is the first page that I did. Um, I talked about those, I don't know what to call them, but they're semi-flares, semi-epoxy dots. You just peel them off and put the paper on the back of them. They're 1 inch. I used a 1 inch round punch and stamped on top of them, and then put them on the dots. And I did a bunch of those. You're going to see a lot of those. Use my puzzle pieces. I use those a lot. I got them at the dollar store. They come, for $1 you get 500 pieces, and these I think were buttons. You can kind of see the button there, but you can get all kinds of different ones. Then this is the next page I did, and this is a double page. I'm going to try to set this up where you can see both sides of it. And I used my die cut. I also, the planes, I learned how to do that. So I cut out some cars too, because this was a road trip. So I have a bunch of cars that I cut out on my Cricut, and I'll post a video on how I did that too, and I'll leave a link to it down below. But that I made the cars the same way I made the airplanes, and they turned out pretty cute. And I did my journaling on the inside and stamped the date on the inside. Here's these little stamped things again, bunches of them, and some washi that was in my kit. This is my first page. Well, let's see. These are the second and third pages. This is the same road trip. I'll put them down. Next couple of pages for that. And this was in Birmingham. And I made this. This is the Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail. And I wanted to put the whole thing in there. So I printed it out two-sided so it wouldn't be too long, and made a pocket out of the first page of the download that I found. And that's the jail, actually. That was pretty cool. My tickets to the Civil Rights Museum are right here. And that's our favorite restaurant in Atlanta, called Bones. That was where we stopped that night. Okay, next two pages are from a trip we took with some friends to Croatia. I wanted to get it scrapped right away while I remembered everything. I'm not one of those that thinks that writes stuff down, so I need to do it pretty quickly. So these are the first two pages, and it's all about the food. So I wanted to introduce Croatia, and then these are those Viewmasters, and I put Vicky Bouton gold gel on them to make them pretty. And I found these in my stash. They weren't my original kit, but I found them, and I had a bunch of them. So I decided I'd go ahead and add them to my kit and use them on this set of layouts. So those are the first two from that trip. And then here's the next two. And these, I added these doilies because I had them and they were gold, and I liked this gold over here and the gold letters, but I wanted something kind of in the middle that was gold, so I added that and the string with the gold in it. More of these dots that I stamped the sentiments on, and I cut these out. I used my butterfly punch to cut these out. This is just packaging, but it was kind of shiny and pretty, so I used the packaging, cut them out with a punch. These are the next two. And these are some more. This one I cut this banner out first, and then I thought, man, I really like those cameras. I don't like cutting them out, and made some more of these out of this orange dot paper. But I decided to cut out some of the cameras, and I like that a lot better than the banner. But went ahead and put it in there. I did a whole bunch of these. In fact, I'll show them to you. I was like, that is such a cool thing. So you'll notice this paper here, and you'll see this shortly. This paper's in there too. Some of these are from later projects, but I just made a ton of them. There's another one that didn't do a lot of green in this one, so I ended up with a few green ones left over. This is mixed media that you're going to see shortly. But I made a bunch of these. Still have some left over. All right, let's see. Next two. This one, I actually used the airplanes right here. A couple of different sizes of airplanes. And some of those journal cards. I also had some scraps that had the right colors. These three were not in my original kit, but they were just scraps. So I rounded the corners and added those because I had rounded the corners of this mat. So I kept rounding corners. Pretty simple, but I really like the two different papers together. Next two is where I introduced this mixed media that was part of my kit. I did modeling paste, and I used some orange gelato to get that color. And I had some leftovers. I think I put them in here. See, these made out of pieces that are behind. This is just, I cut a L shape, so I'd have some more. You'll see it in a little bit. More cutout cameras. And some of these Chamel flares. My light just went out. Hope y'all can see, because I'm not doing this again. This is hard work. I don't know how some of the people on YouTube that post like every every couple of days, I don't know how they do it. This is tiring. This was a journal card, this pink card, and this was a little scrap left over. This was a tiny little tag, and I turned it into a banner and covered up this journal card. It said something like, I don't remember what it said, but I just covered it up. This is the next one, and I've started to run out of paper, so I started getting paper about now. But these are photographs of the tickets that my mother-in-law saved. This is my mother-in-law, and this is my dad and my stepmother. They actually met and had this picture taken at the CMA Awards in 1992. That was years before I met my husband. And so here we are. Here's Nancy and Dwight and Linda and my dad at our wedding. many 12 years later. David and I got married, so that was strange. This is a layout that I did. I just like the starry paper, and it's me and my niece, and I added these. These weren't my original kit, but I thought they looked like stars, so I added them anyway. This was part of a journal card. I tried to make it look kind of like a moon. And then these are the leftovers from this page and one of those early pages that I did of our road trip. This was in that. This was, I can't remember which one this was in, but these were off of this page, and I had them just thrown on the table, and they looked pretty good, so I just decided to just put them down, and had this picture of Zoe when she was tiny, and I like the way it turned out. Here's some more of that mixed media, and this was a journal card that I cut out. Um, Another one of those Chamel. No, that's not a Chamel. I don't remember who that was. This was journal card I cut out. Little scrap. Pretty simple page. Couple pages from our trip to New York. We went to see this exhibit at the Museum of Jewish Heritage. It was about Auschwitz, and while we were there, we did some of our most favorite things. So we went to Francis Tavern for lunch and Peter Luger's for dinner. Took the train from Manhattan to Brooklyn for Peter Luger's. Luke's Lobsters under the Waldorf Hotel. And then this was the first time we went to see the Grange, which was Alexander Hamilton's home in Harlem. It was very cool. This page is my birthday party a couple years ago. Flowers my dad sent me. And you always need a cake with your name on it for your birthday. That was a great cake. And all the people came. We had a great time. One of the challenges was a do-over for the Counterfeit Kit challenge, and I had done this as a digital page, I think a year ago, and I just don't really like. I can't say I don't like. I prefer paper scrapbooking to digital scrapbooking, so it just didn't feel very satisfying. So this is some of the journal cards that were in my kit, some leftover scraps, and I took a picture of my certificate, and this is a picture of me being whatever they do, allowed into the Mayflower Society. And this is my ancestor's name. His name was John Billington. So the next page that I did, I actually put in a scrapbook for my niece. I'll show a photograph of it so you can see it. But Um, it's in her scrapbook. She's off to college, so. Then next I did, um, if you do one on your niece, you got to do one on your nephew. He's the funniest little kid. So anyway, by this point I was like really running out of paper. So this is 3 different papers um, that I put together uh, to find one background. More puzzle pieces, kind of my signature. I do a lot of puzzle pieces. Another one of the challenges was back to school, and David and I are a little old for that. So instead of doing kids' pictures, I did um, what we normally do about the time everybody's going back to school. We're a lot of times, a lot of summers, we're in England, and we have a favorite shoe store, and David has a favorite barber. So, um, so we get shoes and a haircut when we go to London. So that's what back to school means for us. This is the graph paper that was in my kit, and those cork pieces and some wood pieces that were in the kit, and a Chamel flare there. And those are the letters from my kit, journal card from the kit. So all this was from the kit. And it too cut out because I'm running out of paper. This is our steak night. We do steak night every Saturday. And so there's the cocktails and the view, which is amazing, and steak and potatoes, and usually a vegetable of some sort, and definitely have friends. One of the other challenges was to curate something, and David and I really, really, really love Picasso. We like all kinds of art, but Picasso is one of our favorites, and this was a visit that we made to the Picasso Museum in Paris. And this is the second floor of the museum, and some of the works that they had there. By this point, again, I had just no paper left, so I went to my stash and I found these 2 that just screamed Picasso, so I used them. But the letters and most of the scraps and mats that I did, all of these sayings, which just couldn't have been better. Don't be afraid to be great. Don't limit your challenge. Challenge your limits. And trust your crazy ideas. Those were all in my kit. This was not in the kit, but it was in paper pad, and I found it, and the colors worked, and it was a Picasso quote, so I put it in on the page, and I really like this. It makes me happy. These are my last 2 pages from the kit. And they're about the Counterfeit Kit Challenge. So this is literally everything I had left. And I didn't just have to piece the paper. I had to piece the pieces of the paper to get them all, to get 2 backgrounds out of it. When Walgreens printed this, it didn't print correctly, so they had to reprint it. and she gave me the original print. So I also punched out 1-inch circles from the 5x7 that I had printed that they gave me. Um, so I've got some extra little doobies here, and I did some tiny pictures because I've had so many pictures to put on here, not enough room. But anyway, it was just so much fun to do the challenge, and I hope to do more. I put together a kit for November, um, and these are my first 2 pages from it. I know it's almost the end of December already, and these are the only 2 pages I've done. Just been so busy at work, and now the holidays. So, but I did do these 2 pages on Chris Christopherson, who has to be one of the kindest men on the planet, um, and one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And I've got a song that is really special to my husband and I that I'm gonna put here on this. Um, this was an article that was in the magazine, and then I'm gonna put the song here. Um, haven't done that yet, but that's on the horizon. And then tickets and the original program from the first time I saw him, which was in 2011, and this is the last time. We've seen him 3 times. This is Willie Nelson. He came on stage to play with him on the, oh, this is the 17, so 11, 17, and 19. This is 17, and this is 19. I think he only has one outfit he likes to wear. So, must be a lucky outfit. Anyway, this is from my November kit, and maybe I'll post something about that, but I have to tell you, this has worn me out. So, I am done for tonight. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And the one thing I can say is that if you put the kit together and you really try to use it and play with it, you can make a lot of pages, because that's my stack of pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 pages with that one kit. That's pretty fly. So, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great evening. Bye.